We are live. So yeah, today is the regular GSoC special interest group meeting. We will sync up on the Google Summer of Code status and then just have some time to do Q&A with students, whomever is interested in to ask any questions. So I think I'll just share my screen. Okay, is it visible now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, one of the things which we wanted to discuss is, of course, coding period, because coding period starts next Monday. So this is our last office hours before we go to the coding, and we ask all students to make sure that you actually went through the plan and that you performed all actions as a part of the community bonding. So generally, our expectation is that first you get introduced to the community, you get enough knowledge transfers, and that you know what to do as a part of the coding session. So yeah, just three expectations. Yeah, if something didn't happen so far, please ping your mentors as soon as possible, and please follow up on your action items as soon as possible. And actually, my question to students and to mentors would be that do you have any help from org admins? Okay, so I assume no questions right now. Check that. Okay. So yeah, one of the things which was brought up at the last meeting that there is a need to have a kind of dashboard or whatever, mostly for this part, so that you have a plan for the first coding phase. So currently we have a dashboard in Jenkins Jira. So if you open Jira, there is a dashboard called Google Summer of Code 2019. So yeah, I'll just show it. Okay. So yeah, here's our Jira. If you go there, you may see that there is a number of sprints. So what we started from is that we have a sprint for each phase. So community bonding, coding phase 1, coding phase 2, coding phase 3. And there is already a number of tickets. So in order to get an issue on the dashboard, you need to label it with the GSoC 2019 task prefix, I believe. Yeah, just GSoC 2019. So put GSoC 2019, and after that, the issue will appear in the backlog. And after that, you can just drag and drop these issues. For example, I can take one from VDA and put it to coding phase 1, just for an example. But yeah, it's pretty much a sample issue which is already work in progress. So yeah, if needed, we will fix it later. And you can do the same for your issues. And actually, what is asked that before the coding phase starts, you create at least issues for the first coding phase and put them to the dashboard. You'll have all the filters, so yeah, you will be able to search issues in your projects quickly. But yeah, it would be nice if you put these issues on the dashboard. Okay. Are there any questions? about Jira dashboard and how it works, because people may have a different experience with Jira. So if you have any questions, any feedback, let us know.
Oleg,
Yeah.
when I'm on the dashboard, when I click on a particular issue, in the right side panel, it shows up the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
so, so if you add a link to the particular issue, it doesn't show up in the right panel. When you just expand it, it shows up, but it doesn't.
You
So,
mean project links or what?
issue link, like there's a section for link in the issue when you create an
All
issue.
right. So yeah, unfortunately, this browsing is not ideal, and yeah, unfortunately, we don't have all options to modify the layout. I'll check
Okay.
whether I can get it, but if not, maybe we would have to expand the issues.
Okay. And another thing about the pipeline authoring SIGC meeting.
Yeah.
What you were saying that it would be happening today. So, no activity in the group. So,
Yeah, so I believe that there is KubeCon now. So
okay.
I'm not sure whether Andrew is planning to have a meeting. Let's check. Mm, Okay, I just asked.
Okay.
And
Thanks.
yeah, if you have such topics as a part of community bonding, don't hesitate to reach out to people directly. Because yeah, some projects are related to CX. So yeah, two projects for pipeline, two projects for cloud native CX, one project for platform. And yeah, at least as a part of demos for the first coding phase, we will be using these CX platforms. But you can reach out to these special interest groups early in order to get some feedback,
Okay.
or at least to get introduced. So yeah, it should be something to consider.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay. Um, any other questions? Uh, so yeah, we have some students who haven't yet created tickets in Jenkins Jira. Please do so. And if you haven't discussed what would be your plan for the first coding phase, also please do so with your mentors as soon as possible. Because yeah, the worst case scenario that coding phase starts and you don't know what exactly to code. In such case, yeah, firstly, it's just a wasted time, and secondly, yeah, it's a planning issue, so we want to avoid that. If you need any help from org admins in order to make things happen, please reach out to us through private channels. So we have a sync up with org admins, and that if something is going wrong, we will help to facilitate the things. But yeah, by the time coding phase starts on Monday, we expect all projects to have at least implementation plan in Jenkins Jira, because it will be our main engine for communication during a few of the phases. Okay. So regarding the rest, yep, get KTs to be able to work. We had KTs at least in several projects. Again, if you are missing something, if you are missing information, please ping your mentors as soon as possible. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to present today in terms of project organization. So yeah, we can clarify some questions right now. So yeah, if you have any questions or if you see that something is missing, please bring up these topics, and yeah, we will be able to discuss that. Okay. So Yufei, Natasha, Prishai, Vida, is everything is fine
Yeah.
or missing something? Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I have any questions. We had a call yesterday and we haven't started doing like Jira tickets yet, but I will make sure to get those in the next couple days. And yeah, I think at least in terms of my project, probably the first part is I think gonna be still kind of exploratory. So but yeah, I will create tickets to reflect that. But other than that, I don't have any specific questions.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So Yufei says he's fine. Okay.
Oleg,
Yeah.
do we have any special interest group for our project?
For all strategy, we do not have special interest group right now. So I was talking about having a security special interest group. So to have, so there is a security team in Jenkins, but the security team is highly focused on fixing security defects, etc. And they do not really have public meetings. So we have private meetings. I brought up a question about having something public, but yeah, I didn't get so much feedback about that. So yeah, one of the options is that we proceed without a special interest group for now, or we can just try to get it organized on the flight. So for example, sending a message to the security team. Well, yeah, probably it's not the best thing, but instead of that, we could reach out to potential users. So we can send a message to the user mailing list. There is also an opportunity to have a blog post earlier so that you reach out to wider community. And yeah, it can help to bring in some stakeholders.
I sent the same email that I had sent to the developer mailing list to the user mailing list on the suggestion of, I think, Baptiste.
Yep. Jenkins CI dev, Jenkins CI users. So yeah, there is Jenkins CI users mailing list. Yeah, actually, it's something which. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen anymore, right? Okay. So I'm presenting again now. Yeah, here's a Jenkins users mailing list. You may see that there is the number of you is close to 0, but it's mostly because the fact that the most of people have subscriptions. So, for example, I don't use mailing list, and many people do not really use mailing list to interact here. But yeah, for all projects, it make sense to have some visibility here at some point. At least when you have something to share, it's perfectly fine to send it to the user mailing list. And the same for other community channels. So like Jenkins.io blog, once you have something to share, then it makes sense to use these channels in order to promote your projects. And if you need more ideas, yeah, just talk to your mentors, because yeah, there are ways to get things promoted. Okay, so yeah, whatever channel is something we could use. Okay, does it answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, regarding special interest group, yeah, let's try to see what we can do. But yeah, in the worst case, we just proceed without special interest group and try to build community around the thing. because the role strategy plugin has so many users that you probably do not really need a special interest group just to get some attention from users. Okay, let's see how to do that.
Okay,
For example,
thanks.
what we could do, we could actually, so role strategy plugin has a wiki page, and we could post, for example, let's say we could have an announcement box right on the wiki page if it ever opens. Yeah. Okay, so we could probably just put a box here saying that, hey, there is an ongoing project for performance improvements. If you're interested to join our channels, it could also help. So for role strategy plugin, you can actually do it on your own because yeah, it's wiki, so you can edit this page. And yeah, maybe for other projects, something like that could be done. For example, for GitLab plugin, it definitely could be done. For external workspace manager, you can just modify GitHub to have links to your project. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's something you can use. Okay. Anything else?
I something I wanted to mention. And when we send pull requests, do we need to tag them with special keywords or special labels?
Okay, yeah, it's something to discuss. So the problem is that in order to tag a pull request, you need to have write permissions to the repository. So it means that it's not possible in all cases. What we usually recommend to do is, yeah, so we can just take a look at Jenkins CI Jenkins. Yeah, so what we did, for example, for a remote project, we created a team. So yeah, okay. What we did is that there is a teams. Here, GSoC. Yeah, so there is a GSoC remoting team, which includes basically all mentors and the student right now, and we can add more people if needed. And once this team is created, firstly, a student gets added to the organization, so he or she can use these teams for mentioned, and yeah, you also can request reviews from the team if needed, and you can CC the team when you submit a pull request to request reviews. So my advice would be to actually, when you create a pull request, either to CC team or to CC your mentors directly, because it's something helpful.
Oleg, would it be good if when they send the pull request in that they actually add the mentor and the lead mentor as a reviewer in the pull request?
Again, you need write permissions to the project to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so for example, let's take example, there is role strategy pull request from Avude about micro benchmarks for Java. So for example, here, if you take a look at this pull request, yeah, now it doesn't mention the mentors, etc., because yeah, we have a chat for that. But what we could do, we could say that, for example, I need reviews from Oleg Ninashov, then and Spoon. So yeah, it's the most simple way to request a review. Once you do that, all mentors will get email notification. In order to do that, you don't need to be a mentor. Sorry, to be a member of the organization, you do not need to have right permissions. In order to request reviews here, unfortunately, now you have to have write permissions to the repository. What it means that in order to be able to request reviews, you would have to be a contributor with merge permissions to the project. And for example, in this case, we could make a video contributor. It's not a big deal. We could do that, but yeah, for some projects, for example, for Jenkins core, if in some projects you need to update that, it wouldn't be possible. At least it would be really tricky to do that. So I would rather recommend to rely on mentions. And in order to simplify mentions, what we could do, we could actually just create new teams. So for example, we could create a team for GSoC 2019. So this team actually allows us to add your students and mentors. So this team will allow us to add you to the Jenkins organization, so that you will be able to just comment everywhere, etc. And what you can do, you can just navigate to this URL, and then you can ask to become a member of this team. And later we can create specific teams for projects if you need that. So go to CC teams GitHub, and yeah, org admins can create GSoC teams upon request.
Hi, Oleg. So you're
yeah.
saying that instead of CCing people individually, like saying like CC at mentor, you're saying like if we join a team, we can just like add the whole team. Is that correct?
Yep. So you can create a team for a project, and then this team will be portable. So as long as a student or as a mentor are a member of Jenkins organization, and they will be a member, okay, if they join the team, they will be able to CC all the people without repeating this list every time. So in order to request such teams, you generally just go to Jenkins Jira. Here you create a new ticket, for example, yep, just a new ticket. So the project is infrastructure. Well, something like task, I guess. And here in the component, you put GitHub and create a GitHub team. For example, for, let's say, okay, role strategy project game. So something like that. Okay, once you do that, you just click create. Yeah, you can add some information, but these tickets, well, they get assigned to Daniel. Just assign them to me because I have permissions, and I will be able to do it quickly. Yep, thanks, Martin, for doing that. Yeah, so if these teams help, you can just do something like that. You can also add them to GSoC 2019 label, so they will appear in our dashboard also. Or maybe not. If not, I will get it fixed. Okay, so yeah, basically, if you need that, just let us know. And yeah, if you need any other things from Jenkins infrastructure, it's also something we can help with. For example, if you need to host a new component, let us know. We will help to get it delivered quickly. Or if you need any specific things, for example, Docker Hub or whatever, we also can help it with. So Speaking of that, does anybody need any infra things to be done?
Oleg, I needed access to enterprise version of GitLab. So GitLab has two versions. Like there is a community version and a ultimate or enterprise version. So as I don't have the link as of now, but Jenkins has the permission to access the enterprise version as a open source organization. So I'm not sure who has those credentials.
Well, we don't have an enterprise account for GitLab. So if you need that, the best way is to start the thread in the info mailing list.
Maybe sometime later I can
Sorry, the audio breaks.
GitLab list some of the open source organization. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you can.
Hello.
Yeah, now it's better.
Okay, so maybe later I can share you the link. Okay, maybe later share you the link. There, GitLab mentions a list of open source organizations who contribute towards GitLab. So maybe I am assuming during the development of GitLab plugin, it was the Jenkins org was a part of it, and it lists Jenkins as one of the open source organization who has those access to the enterprise version.
Uh, okay. So basically, it's hard to say about that right now because, yeah, I don't know what are GitLab's conditions. I'm not sure whether they would be open to give access specifically to the Jenkins project because, GitLab has GitLab CI. So it's not clear what would be the company's position about that. We can definitely discuss that, but I don't have a definite answer right now. So what would be my advice is you discuss this topic with mentors, and then once you have a decision whether you want to work on the enterprise version, reach out to the info mailing list or so that you can get sign off and access for that. Because yeah, generally it's something to be approved at the governance meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are ways to do that. I mean, I believe that Rick knows how it's usually being done because, yeah, almost all such special requests go through the governance meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Any other info
Okay.
needs?
Not from my side.
Okay. What about others?
I have a question. Sorry if this has been answered already.
Yeah.
Is there one Scrum board per GSoC team, or it's one Scrum board for all of them?
One Scrum board for everyone, but
Okay.
you can set up quick filters. And I will set up quick filters for projects once epics are created, because I need epics created by students so that I set up quick filters.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
if needed, we could create separate boards and separate sprints for each project. But yeah, I'm not sure what would be the need in that.
okay, so students are expected to create the epics and put the
labels.
The labels, and it's one epic per sprint. Sorry, one epic per coding phase.
Well, epics up to you. You can have multiple epics if you want. But yeah, right now we have one sprint per one coding phase. So it means that sprints are approximately 4 weeks. if you want to have shorter sprints like 2 weeks, okay, we could do that. But yeah, basically, it's up to you.
Well, if it's common, everybody has to follow the same sprint durations. If we use the sprint feature, if we just use it for filtering and ranking, then it doesn't matter.
So that's why I didn't bother much to create it before community bonding started, because last year we did sprint boards, etc., but effectively nobody used them. So here, yeah, we created them after the discussion at the previous week. But again, if nobody uses them, probably we don't need to spend time. If somebody wants to use them, then yeah, we can adjust upon the demand, upon the request. So if you want to have 2 week sprints, it's something we can help with. If you want to have specific filters, separate boards, separate sprints, we can do that. But yeah, there should be such a request, and yeah, that's it. Does it make sense?
So,
Okay.
can you, do you mind repeating like what the expectations for students are again? So students should create the epics and the tasks. Is that correct?
Well, we can even survive without epics. So epics are rather useful for you in order to define milestones and what needs to be done for them. So, because, for example, you can set a milestone alpha release of plugin management library, and you can create an epic for that with a list of tasks you need to complete. And then yeah, you have, let's say, 20 tasks, and you discuss these tasks with mentors, and you agree that 15 tasks to be done during the first coding phase, and then 5 tasks during the second coding phase. So you still have epic as a delivery, but you put tasks to different sprints. It's just one of the examples how you could use epics. But yeah, basically it's up to you how you operate with them. What we need you to do is to create tasks and to create and to set labels for them. And yeah, the rest is what we could do for you in order to simplify the thing.
Oleg, do you mean tasks or do you mean Jira stories?
Well, Jira tasks, Jira tickets, Jira stories, as you wish.
Actually,
yeah,
it's easier. Okay, so if
yeah, it's a terminology thing.
Yeah, terminology, but functionally, Jira stories are easier to manipulate inside sprint boards than tasks if we ever use the start sprint feature. So I would recommend stories. It doesn't matter in the end, but stories are easier to manipulate.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about the terminology, because now I'm also confused. Okay, so let's see what we have. In Jira, we have issues. So issues have multiple types: task, bug, feature, improvement, whatever, story. From a management standpoint, it doesn't really there is no difference whether it's task, new story, new feature, bug, or whatever. So whatever type you create, you can easily manage the board. So maybe what you meant, Martin, is a subtask, not task.
Okay.
Yeah, so generally what I tried to say that, yeah, we expect you to create issues. These issues can have different types depending on your needs. So you can choose whatever approach you prefer. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, for the sake of simplicity, personally, I use epics and stories, and the other ones, I almost never use them because they don't behave well in the swim lanes when we start sprints.
Maybe it's something specific to your Jira.
Probably.
Yeah, so in the case of Jenkins Jira, all these types have exactly the same workflow. So it doesn't really matter what you take except epics, because epics are something for grouping. but for the rest, you can take whatever type. There is no practical difference between story and, for example, improvement or new feature in Jenkins Jira.
Okay, so if they use the same workflow, then it's going to be easier. To clarify, epic is a grouping, but it's a grouping or typically over a period of typically an epic is over a period of time, which is longer than a sprint. That's
Not
how I.
necessarily. Yeah, it could be longer than sprint and it could be shorter than sprint. So my personal approach for epics is that I use epics for deliverables. For example, let's say I have a full bar plugin and I have epic full bar alpha release. So yeah. Alpha release of full bar. I create this epic. Okay, it's here. And let's say it's GSoC 2019. And in this epic, we can say that, okay, what do we need to create it? So we say that I want to have feature, for example, create a new, let's say, okay, a new full bar page for Jenkins. Okay, something like that. Okay, I will definitely need to clean it up later. So yeah, we put label, and yeah, we can create a few more of these tasks, or I can just clone it. So here, for example, we say that host the new plugin repository, and here, let's say, write documentation. So clone write documentation. Okay, so let's assume I'm a student. So as a student, I have 3 epics. Or sorry, I have an epic and I have 3 tickets in this epic. Then I go to the board and, for example, we have a meeting with mentors, and we agree that yeah, we create a page as a part of first coding phase. First coding phase. Then we create, we host the plugin as a part of the first coding phase. What's going on with drag and drop? But regarding write documentation, we can agree that we do it during the second coding phase. And we can say that, okay, we have epic, which sets the delivery, but effectively 2 tasks we want to perform during the first coding phase and the last task during the second coding phase. Or we can agree that it goes here. So it's something like you may want. And it's up to you and mentors to decide how you do that. But yeah, Epic is just a way to group the deliverables. So all of you have separate deliverables in your plan, but yeah, you can just decide how you do that.
So for something like updating, we have like our project pages and stuff like that. Would that go on? Would that go under an epic, and then we'd have just like separate tasks for update after coding phase 1, update after coding phase 2, and so on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't have a requirement to have dozens of Jira tickets or whatever. It's something you decide with mentors. But yeah, what history shows that if you have fine-grained tickets, then it's easier for you to manage the tasks. It's better for you to track the process. And yeah, so our advice is generally to have a good granularity of tickets. So write documentation, write tests is probably okay, creating the page is probably okay, but if you have for example, 5 features you want to deliver, probably it's better to have separate tasks or separate stories inside the APIC for that. Okay, is it clear now? Or is it worse now?
Okay, well, thanks, Oleg, for the explanation. I was disconnected from the network and I just rejoined, so I'll watch the recording.
Okay, happens. Yeah, so anything else to discuss today? Any questions? Any help needed? For example, I was surprised that UFA didn't need help with AWS accounts. So maybe it's something for mentors to clarify with the student. For other projects, yeah, not aware about any specific infrastructure requirements, but yeah, if we are missing something, please let us know. Okay. Any other questions, topic for the discussion, etc.? We have something like 10 minutes left. Okay. So yeah, it seems there is no other topics. So yeah, if you need any help, if you need any clarification, please use Gitter chats. So we have the next meeting in a week or so when the coding starts. But if you need any time clarification, just use the Gitter chat. All our admins are present there, mentors are also present there. So yeah, we will be able to help you without waiting till the next meeting. Okay. Okay. Then I think we can just stop the broadcast for now. Yeah, by the way, some organizational changes. So Marky will be joining the GSoC org admin team. Also Rick will be joining the org admin team. So we will have more capacity in terms of handling of things, which was one of the feedback we got for community bonding phase already. So yeah, we will try to have more bandwidth. And yeah, probably we'll be also doing some shifts in terms of lead mentors. So yeah, we have some background discussions about that. So please do not be surprised if such changes happen. Nothing really changes in terms of projects and goals. Please keep working with your mentors, and yeah, we will provide you as much assistance as we can.
Thank you, Oleg.
Thank you. Yeah, I just forgot to tell about it in the beginning, but yeah.
For those that don't know me, I've been in the Jenkins community for quite a while, and I'm a maintainer on a few plugins, and I've been a mentor. So I'm glad to be in the org, admin org. And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, I think we can close down the meeting. Yeah.
Have a good day, good evening, everybody.
Yeah. See you next time. Or maybe
Bye, everybody.
at the next project meeting. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.